Bryce with the squad here, getting ready for another episode of Squad Talks over coffee. Got Coach Rob Deboer with me, and we're going to be talking about live video. He's the king, he's the master of it. He's a great coach, great dude, a lot of fun. You're going to want to tune into this one. Hey guys, Bryce CEO here of the Marketing Squad, coming to you with another episode of Squad Talks over coffee. And this week,
Or water,
exactly. I'm surprised Coach Rob doesn't have some ketones in there. We'll explain that in a minute. But Squad Talks over coffee. I've always got a cup of coffee. Sometimes the guests do, sometimes I don't. This week I've got a mug from Synergos. It's actually Taylor's favorite coffee, who's running the camera back there. So. This week, super excited to have a guest. You know, a lot of these videos we have the team. Sometimes we've had guests. This week's guest is a good friend of mine, Coach Rob Deboer. Rob is he runs a brand basically called Body Comp Keto.
Yes.
He also is a top producer with Prove It.
Yep.
Which is a company in the nutritional space. And
we moved here because this is Prove It HQ headquarters here, and we lead education for them. So. It's been great so far.
Yeah, and that's actually how we met. Rob's also a two-sport college athlete, which is hard to find these days. I mean, like usually they make you specialize, but
former, many years ago.
Yeah. Football and baseball at University of South Carolina.
Yep, I was a Gamecock. They're not doing well, and Kentucky's had our number for a while, but
still doing good baseball. Still a solid baseball player.
Yes.
We met actually at near Prove It headquarters over in, as Rob refers to it as what?
Pleasantville. It's this little neighborhood called Norton Commons where you can high five your neighbor. All the porches and a lot of the houses look the same. It's a little owned community, and so it's been instrumental in us kind of feeling at home like a family. And I tell people everybody decorates for Christmas. Everyone's got 2 kids and 1 dog, and they sit on their front porch and smile. So why not call it Pleasantville?
There you go. And we met through Ben Robbins, who's a client of ours with PL Lanes Architectural Builders. And Ben had run into Rob and introduced me to him. And I started actually taking some of the products with Rob, with ketones, Keto Nat at Prove It. And again, it's went way beyond that. We've become friends and connect a lot. And he just does a lot of really cool stuff with live video. And we've been doing a series here on Squad Talks on video. You know, we've covered how one of our clients in the B2B business space does a lot of cool video with their brand and their dealer networks. Then we've also done a video where we brought Taylor from out behind the camera and talked about how video plays in different types of marketing and the HubSpot flywheel approach. And so that covered a lot of the gamut of video, but not the live side. And you know, I didn't have to think long to find the expert and the guru.
That's
on
right.
Live, and it's Rob right here down the street from us. But he's got a huge reach online, and we want to jump in and just talk to him about that. And I think where I want to jump off with you at is just like how many times do you do live? Like, is it how many times a day, a week, a month?
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny because you said something and it triggered a thought. How many people have heard someone say, I'm super excited? Like, are you super excited that I'm here? Like, it just comes out. Like, anytime I go live, I think people always say, I'm super excited to be with you tonight. So I've had that opening so many times, and I just heard myself when you said that. But, you know,
usually I'm half asleep over here, honestly.
There you go.
This time I'm super excited now.
The reality is this. Statistics suggest text reaches an audience. Text plus a picture, text plus a video. But text plus live, engaging, encouragement, accountability, community is where it's at. People don't expect perfection anymore. They don't expect high production. There's a time and a place. You guys are some of the best at being professional storytellers. Like, I don't even know as much about what they do, but just walking in here, seeing the setup of the marketing squad, my marketing mind turns on because it's all about storytelling, and live storytelling is the epitome of reaching an audience, sharing your message, engaging them. And I told you, one of the greatest human core needs is feeling heard, feeling engaged, feeling important. And I think that's what live video can deliver to people.
Absolutely. So do you do, I know you've got a schedule. You do. Is it still like Tuesdays and
Every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live on Facebook. Now we're starting to stream it to Instagram, and y'all know, I mean, there's 19 different social media outlets.
Yeah.
TikTok, I've got a daughter that's got millions of people watching her frost a cookie. I mean, good gracious, you can do about anything these days.
Yeah.
But, we kind of partnered up just to start thinking. Like I told you, I've got the greatest name. I might even go buy the URL domain name, the marketing, the SquadCast. If you guys ever go podcasting, SquadCast, that's the name. I'm telling you.
There you go.
That's a winner.
Let's register that later, Taylor.
but so I don't think there's any magic to it. I think the magic is being who you are and sharing what you know. That's the secret.
And I mean, anything else, I mean, building any habits, like we talked to Wirecrafters, David Fishman was on, they set out and did a program called Mondays with Milt, where they put the spotlight on one of their biggest personalities in their business, and he's a hoot, and they just said, we're going to do Mondays with Milt, and every Monday they shot a video. With you guys, with your Bodycomp Keto, you're doing that on a very consistent regimen. Has that helped you kind of build the brand?
100%. And I think it's number one, the law of attraction begins to build itself. But number two, people like consistency, and content is king. If you put out great content that is unique and engaging, your audience is going to show up. And if you continue to deliver and create community and engagement, and it's not just about the sale and, hey, good luck, go get them once we get you. It's staying engaged and making them part of who you are, and you become part of who they are, and delivering relevant content is really kind of the secret sauce. Like, I think anybody can get started here, and oftentimes they just need someone to pull it out of them. A lot of times business owners, you know what they're good at? They're being business owners. Probably not live personalities or Coach Robs or whatever. You're brilliant at the marketing mind and the strategy. How do we take what this person represents and go maximize their business? So there's strengths in all this. All you need is to put a few pieces together and just start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got the Bodycomp Keto lives that you do. You also do lives when you're doing the coaching program. Well, not coaching. It's every month. Rob helps. He's one of the coaches that jumps in on the Keto Reboot, which is the largest fasting program in the world, basically.
Bryce, it's crazy. So it started with 3 people: me and a guy named Big Shane and a gal named Crystal. And we just thought, you know what? I remember it like it was yesterday. It was Easter. Ate a bunch of candy. Didn't feel so good. Started learning about fasting. Next thing you know, hey, let's go prove what we believe science says about this product that we have. We have this product that is part of our kind of metabolic tool bag. It's called Keto Nat. And we're not even here to talk about that, but it's just amazing what a product can lead and create. So it starts with 3 people. Little, maybe a text thread, I don't know, as an email between the 3 of us, and then it turned into 30 people. And then it turned into 300, and Crystal and Big Shane say, we probably should start a Facebook group. Like, we can't keep up and communicate with everyone effectively. That 300 group, Facebook group, grew to 3,000, 13,000, and then the company stepped in and said, whoa, time out, what are you doing? Suffice to say, they incorporated that. It became what is now proved its Keto Reboot fasting program. By the way, a simple plug is everybody should consider what that means metabolically, no matter if you're in shape, out of shape, young, old, somewhere in between. Fasting is a great thing. But it's now become the largest, all because of 3 people. And we started going live, and we started sharing our experiences, and you got to hear from other people. No production, no scripting, just real content. And it's now turned into, I don't know, it's over maybe 130, 40,000 people around the world, literally. So when people finish up our program in Australia, they're ahead of me, right? So it's just been a neat dynamic where it just shows the power of content, community, and creating a voice where people can listen and learn.
I thought, I mean, you'd be the one who would know the number, but I thought I saw it even like 140 something.
It might be. And these are people, now y'all get this. These are people choosing not to eat for up to 60 hours. Like we kind of offer this good, better, best. Like we never want anyone to feel like a failure. Just raising your hand saying, hey, tell me more. 18 hours would be good. Let's see if you can make it to 36 better.
Yeah.
60-hour full-body keto reboot, digestive rest, metabolic reset. Let us show you what that means, both physically, but also probably one of the biggest things is the emotional, spiritual, psychological, marital stories that we hear of people that they start to understand why they do what they do, why they eat what they eat, when they eat, why they eat, and all these different things. So that's just one example, and I don't believe that would have ever happened if we weren't doing a weekly live or a monthly live. Now we do it corporately, monthly, so much so that same group now delivers content daily to all 140,000 people. Now we all sync up once a month. We have a calendar. Here's the monthly reboot. But just this morning I went in and I talked about 8 common words that everybody gets from kind of following this process. So content is king, as you know. We just need to keep it creative. We need to keep it fun, engaging, and as the saying goes, don't mistake perfection for practical.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done the reboot 3 times. I think the first 3 months that I met you, I did it. I made it 60 hours. It wasn't too bad.
See, we all have goals. Bryce wants to be an underwear model. That's what he told me. Bryce said, hey, can you make me an underwear model? And I said, sign me up.
I haven't told my wife yet. But
no.
I shared that with Rob, and
So we're on our way.
I forgot to mention, I'm wearing a hat today. It's probably the only time I'll get to wear a hat in a SquadTalks because I knew Rob would be wearing a hat, and I love to wear hats. So there you go. You also go live on your personal channels. I know you're just having fun with that. I see you out and about.
Again, it creates engagement, and a lot of times, people think, well, it's all calculated and it's for business. Not really, I mean, sadly and unfortunately, that's where people's eyes are. And it can mean so many things to so many different people. I mean, if millions of people are watching my daughter frost a cookie, albeit younger people, and they're listening to rap music while she's there's a whole madness or magical formula to this. But the cool thing is, people love truth and transparency. They just want to see, what's Bryce doing out and about? What's a session look like if I'm a new client with the marketing squad? Hey, how do you teach me to tell my story? I know the story, I just don't know how to tell it. And I think that's kind of where we're going. I think we're syncing up. We might have some cool stuff coming. I mean, I think there's so many opportunities for people to have a Coach Rob or a character come into their place of business and be their interrogator, right? Pull the story out of them, make them feel confident and comfortable. And once we get them on film, you get someone rolling and they'll tell you their life story, and there's no doubt it's true and transparent because you can feel the passion. We just need to get it out of people. We need to get it out of businesses.
We've said for years, Chris Brogan wrote a book, Trust Agents. Man, it's probably 12 years ago now, but in that book, he talked about humans do business with humans. And so we always talk about that here. It's the connections. It's why we try to get into a business and make some of their team members brand ambassadors, because people are going to relate to that person, not necessarily the brand as much.
Right.
And it's definitely a big focal point of what we've been doing and how we've been moving and shifting here at the squad. In terms of, so your vehicle of choice, do you use your phone more? Do you use a PC and MacBook? Do you use both when you go live? Is it just a setting in Facebook you click and you're started?
Great question. So, depends on the demographic, but really just start somewhere. I tend to think more people can just use their phone. I mean, the quality, assuming there's a good internet connection, in moments I can go live with people around the world literally right now. And so I think the mistake people make is they want to mistake perfect for good, or great for good. Hey, just get started. You don't need lighting, you don't need microphones, you don't need any of that. All of that could come and should come eventually, but it's not necessary. I mean, some of the most watched videos are the ones that are most sincere. I mentioned to you before we started this, some of the political campaigns. Don't care what side someone on, I can tell you this, they lose me when they start reading the teleprompter, right? They're telling me all these core beliefs and their childhood story. Well, you shouldn't. To tell me your childhood story, you should be able to tell me your childhood story. You shouldn't have to read your own story. And I think that level of personal touch is what's missing, but can be easily found with live video.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Taylor, media designer who's behind the camera again, he does a great job of pulling and extracting out story and dialogue from our clients. You know, there might be a storyboard, as we were talking about earlier, but there's never a script that someone's reading. You know, I think we've tried maybe a couple of those over the years, Taylor, and they went the worst of all the ones we've ever done when I think back. And for good reason. I mean, it's just instantly
if we had scripted this and you wanted to say the right thing and this was the order, I mean, I took you out of that right when I said you wanted to be an underwear model.
Exactly, yeah. And you got me thinking about that.
Right? And so, but I think to your...
I got to start the workouts.
But think about this as an example. The best actors, they have a script. Mm-hmm. And they study their script, but they don't read their script. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Their actual verbiage is very different from what the script says. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes them great actors. Yeah. And it's kind of what you guys do. Hey, as a business owner, tell me your story. Mm-hmm. Then you go and you become the actor and help act out their story in a way that's more true and transparent than even what's on the paper. I just think that's the power of what you guys do. And then you go sprinkle in live video with personalities that can pull that out of a company, out of a business, out of a service, out of a... I mean, everybody wants to hear from someone that relates to someone. Mm-hmm. So,
made me think of, I think it's Shakespeare, didn't he? He had the quote that life's a stage and we're all just the actors on it.
That's it.
There's so many lines. At one point, when I was like 22, I was going to write a book called The Script. I still got to circle back to that. But in terms of promotion, so early on, we heard you talk a little bit about the Keto Reboot videos early on, Body Comp, Keto. I mean, I was talking to Taylor earlier. I mean, like right now, I mean, you turn it on and there's people from all over the place. There's not like you've got a promotion strategy initially in mind. But early on, was there kind of a promotion strategy? Was something?
Yeah. You know, it certainly didn't start that way.
Sure, yeah.
So if there's one thing that I will hang my hat on, consistency is key. Mm-hmm. Consistency is key. Content is king, but consistency is key. Mm-hmm. You know, so if you can deliver both of those, you've got a winning formula. So for the promotion, it was always trying to never sell, but just tell. Okay? And it kind of goes, I don't know how I used to say this, but, you know, when people ask, what do I do? Or, you know, how do you go sell what you're selling? To take all the pressure off, we're just looking for who's looking for us. We just have to put a message out that people are looking for. And trust me, there's people looking for the marketing squad. There's people looking to lose weight. There's people looking to age well, feel great. There's tired moms that don't want an afternoon nap, and eventually they find us. Well, one of the greatest ways they find us is what we say and what we say live.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah, I think, you know, when you're talking promotion... Earlier we were talking about this, and like recognition to me is not far from it. The fact that you jump on a live and you start recognizing the people who are there, that brings people back.
As you know, people want to be a part of something. Yeah. And you guys, that's your specialty, right? Let us help you tell your story, because your story is going to matter to someone, and then once it matters to that someone, they're part of the story. Yeah. What's the saying? People will work for money, die for recognition. There is I don't know the science. I should. I'm a science nerd. But, I mean, there's something that happens that is triggered in the brain when your name is heard or when your name is mentioned in a meeting. Yeah. Okay? So when you call out one of your employees in a meeting and recognize them, that matters and makes a difference. Guess what? What if you do that live? And it lives there on that Facebook page or that website or that YouTube channel or that social media outlet. Now all of a sudden people lean in and listen. You know, that's one of the things I say all the time. Look, there's few things you can do in the context of what we do with Body Comp Keto. Drink these ketones daily, fast with us monthly, and connect continually. And we just tell people, look, lean in and listen and ask your questions, because I think that's one of the greatest human needs is to be heard. Imagine if someone actually answered your personal question. That's huge. You know, that's why service sells. Like the best restaurants don't always have the best food, but they have the best service.
Well, I think that's one thing I've picked up just in knowing you for coming up probably close to a year here now. Is Rob's just a giver. I mean, he gives content, he gives coaching, he gives recipes, he gives all kind of stuff. He gives you his ear, And you know, Giver's Gain. You know, it's I've got a book on my desk. I've got so many books on my desk I want to read.
That's good. Giver's Gain.
Well, yeah. And
is that the name of a book?
No, The Go Giver is a book that I'm getting ready to read. A buddy of mine I've had it for a few months. A buddy of mine I just had lunch with. He reminded me about it, and I was like, you know, that's one I got to get to and read. It's on the list. So I get like 6 books going at one time.
Y'all, I've been to his house. I've been to his house, and he's got all the leadership books. He's got all the coaching books. He's got all the creative, like, readers are leaders, right? As the saying goes, and it's no wonder that you kind of help.
I got to finish some of them though. I get like 6 going.
I agree.
So I want to wrap with we just talked about giving is a good segue.
Yep.
Tips, you know, that we haven't covered so far. If you're a B2C business, meaning business to consumer, meaning like you're a contractor, you're a builder, you know, you're going direct to the end, you're a retail restaurant, you know, we don't do a whole lot of work in those spaces. We do a lot of work for contractors and, you know, builders, and there's a segment of work we do, probably 30% of what we do that's the next project, website, video, logo, branding. And a lot of those businesses are B2C, you know, right to the end user.
Yep.
I think this is a huge play for them. It's a play for our B2B clients if they do it creatively in the right way. And then it's also for personal brands. We're starting to do a lot more work for somebody who's getting into, you know, they're getting into business coaching, or they're getting into financial, you know, coaching. So many people are making that move and starting a personal brand, and to me it definitely plays there. So any other tips that we haven't touched on so far on, you know, jumping in, getting started?
No, I think one of the best things that we can do is, number 1, get started. Mm-hmm. Number 2, explore what might this look like for any business. What would it look like for a builder? Let's figure it out. What would it look like for a restaurant or services company? I don't know, but I know it will work because I know every one of those companies has a client, and those clients have the same human needs that you and I do, and that is to be heard, to be engaged with, to have some accountability, be encouraged, most importantly, be a part of a community.
Yeah.
You know, that's why Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all the social media outlets rule the space. Why? Because that's where people are living. Communities of people. There's a community for people that love rescue dogs. There's a community for people that love wine, love kids sports, like girls softball. Like there's a community for everyone, and here's what we know. If we can connect with the community of people of common interest, that's natural. That's who I want to do business with. So now it's just, how do we go create the community to connect you with your customers of common interest?
Awesome. Well, quick chance for Coach Rob. Anything you want to plug that we haven't talked about so far?
100%. Okay. So I am for hire. I'm just kidding. I'm not for hire. A couple of things. Number 1, we'd love any feedback. Like, what are topics that people want to hear? Number 1. But number 2, we have a brand called Body Comp Keto. Okay, you could probably go Google Body Comp Keto and it'll pop up. It's not the keto diet. It's probably just the opposite of the keto diet. Facebook.com/Body Comp Keto. You can find us on Instagram. All of that to say, I would argue, humbly, I'm one of the best top 5, maybe 10, top 5 body comp coaches in the world, Bryce. I'm here to say it. And I'm kidding, but not really. Here's why. I believe if you simplify a message and it's sincere and it makes sense, a lot of times we compromise common sense when it comes to health, fitness, nutrition, when it comes to what you do, marketing and media strategies. If it's simple and sincere and doesn't compromise your own common sense, you're going to find people that want what you have to offer. So that's what we offer. Facebook.com/Body Comp Keto. I'll have the after picture of Bryce when he is finally the underwear model.
That's right. Work in progress.
Yep, next year. But y'all, thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun. Like, I don't know if it went the way you thought it would go, but
absolutely,
I love it. Absolutely. I love it. And look, promise me that some of you are going to say, "Hey, Bryce, get that guy. Like, you guys go figure out how to go show us what you're talking about."
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think there's opportunities for people that, good gracious, there's no big production costs. You know, it's just time. Press go, press live. You just need someone that can pull your message out and take it to the masses.
I like it. Well, we want to invite you to subscribe to our channel so you can get the next Squad Talk over coffee when it rolls out. We also do a lot of other videos here as well. And want you to keep in mind that we got a new series coming up. It's going to be all about end of the year. How do you close the year well? How do you plan for 2021 to get out of the gate? How do you get where your vision and your team's on the same page? Everybody's walking in step. And so that series is coming. We're going to kick off the new year with a branding series all about not just your visual brand, but your message and your brand messaging guidelines. So all that's coming up. So subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode.